All right, welcome to another Full Court Press podcast. Luke Taylor here, a College Basketball Experience. I'm here with Sam Davidson. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and all that other stuff. And if you like the podcast, love the podcast, give us 5 stars. Anything less than 5 stars, well, then that's not appreciated.
It's not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable. So we got, God, I was just telling him there's a statue of Greeley, Colorado. He didn't like that. So Coach Tad Boyle from the Colorado Buffaloes men's basketball team. Welcome to the Full Court Press podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here. Yeah, I'm not born in Pueblo, raised in Greeley, now in Boulder for 14 years.
Yeah. So it's been a God. It's crazy. You know, it's the one thing I asked Sam, and I mean you're still a KU guy, right? I mean, once a Jayhawk, always.
That's where I went
right?
to school. Absolutely,
right.
I'm a graduate.
So you played for some legendary coaches, Ted Owens and then Larry Brown. Let me ask you something. If you ever lose a recruit to KU, are you okay with that to a certain extent?
I don't like losing recruits to anybody. So no, I'm not.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Absolutely not. I'm not. But look, you know, having played at a place like that's so rich in basketball history and tradition, you know, it makes you feel proud. I joke with some of my teammates today that I don't know how we were good enough to play there. It must be a different KU because they play at a pretty darn high level. And we had some good teams, don't get me wrong, but the game has changed a lot. But, yeah, I'm awful proud to have worn that uniform. But I'm even more proud to be, you know, a CU Buff. I've been here for 14 years. And, again, I was born in this state. I was raised in this state. And I'm a Colorado guy through and through.
So why didn't you go to school there?
Well, that's a good question. It was a very, very, you know, recruiting was different back then too. You know, there was no internet. There was no rankings. There were, you know, you didn't have anything. There was no cable TV.
Right.
I mean, you know, so it was just one of those things where Colorado had a coaching change my senior year. You didn't sign back then until after your senior year of high school.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so there was no early signing period. So, you know, the coach had left. They had been without a coach for 3 or 4 weeks, and that was critical decision-making time for me, and I'd made my visit to KU and obviously got pretty enamored with that situation, and I committed. And then about a week or two later, they hired Tom Apke here at Colorado, and he had recruited me when he was at Creighton. And I talked to Coach Apke and his staff, you know, as a respect, being an in-state kid, but my heart was at KU at that time, and that's where I ended up.
Yeah, quite a coaching tree in Lawrence, Kansas as well. You know, you had Larry Brown there. And
then, Ted Owens recruited me. Bob Hill, who was a longtime NBA coach, was the assistant. And
Danny Manning's dad was there, I think he was the coach there.
Then Coach Brown came after my sophomore year.
You know who was starting off his career there? Ed Manning. Yeah, but you know who else was starting off his career there under Larry Brown?
No.
John Calipari.
John Calipari was a graduate assistant.
I forgot about that,
He was a graduate assistant when I was there. R.C. Buford, who's the San Antonio Spurs general manager, president, I guess now, of business operations, was there. Great coaching tree, great training ground, and then Bill Self, you know, was Oklahoma State. He and I competed against each other for 4 years.
How was he as a player?
He was a tough, hard-nosed player, you know, much like his teams play, you know, that he coaches, really tough, hard-nosed. We joke all the time that, you know, he was the only guy in the Big Eight because it was a Big Eight.
Oh, we love the Big Eight. He was a T-shirt.
Yeah, he was the only guy in the Big Eight I could guard. And I was the only guard in the Big Eight that he could guard. So
you guys ever play? Maybe you should play one-on-one next year when you join in the Big 12.
No, those days are behind us.
Are you looking forward to the Big 12? I mean, that's old stomping grounds for Colorado per se too.
It is. That's certainly where our roots are. My first year at Colorado, we were in the Big 12. And we went to the Pac-12. Been there for 13 years, and now we're going back to the Big 12. So, yeah, I mean, I'm mixed emotions on that because I really enjoyed the Pac-12. I thought it was a great fit, you know, for our institution academically with the other Pac-12 institutions. The travel, you know, nothing against Stillwater, Oklahoma, or you know, Ames, Iowa, or Manhattan,
We've been there
Kansas.
before. Yeah, we've been there before.
I really appreciate going to San Francisco and L.A. and those spots. But look, it's great basketball. It's the best basketball league in the country. So, yeah, we're embracing that opportunity.
Especially next year with you guys, Arizona and Arizona State.
Yeah, and Utah's coming. And Houston has been a great addition. What Kelvin Sampson's done there has been fantastic. So, yeah, it is going to be a heck of a challenge and opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. I say that now. but talk to me next February.
We're going to be at the media day. I'll ask you.
Okay.
I'll ask you that
next week.
October,
next year
November.
in Kansas City. Yep. So this year you're 18-9. You've led the Buffaloes 5 times to the NCAA tournament. You're kind of what national media is calling like on the bubble right now. I personally don't think you're getting the recognition you deserve. I think KJ Simpson's one of the most, even though he's listed as midseason award finalist and all that, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the country that just doesn't get the attention.
You're saying that because he's averaging 19.
I know, but you don't hear. You don't see him, out there. And talk a little bit about this year's team,
Yeah, I mean, KJ, I would agree with you 100%. The most underrated player in college basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, he's what he's done for this team and this program, and he's done it consistently night after night after night. I can count on one hand and still have a few fingers left the bad games he's had this year. And he's been very consistent. He's rebounded the ball at a high level. He's assisted the ball. His efficiency numbers are great, and his leadership and his toughness. And KJ's a two-way player. He's not just an offensive player. He can really guard. He gets one of the toughest matchups on the perimeter every single night we play. So he's terrific. He's had an All-American type year, and yeah, it bothers you. Sometimes we get caught in this mountain time zone.
Yeah.
People don't, at West Coast games, we don't see us play, and that's just part of the deal. And KJ grew up in Los Angeles. He grew up in California, so he's used to that. He knows that. But and the thing I love about him is that stuff, it motivates him. It doesn't. Okay. He doesn't get down about it. He doesn't pout about it. He doesn't. He's not a guy that is a self-promoter. He just lets his game do the talking, and his game has talked pretty loudly this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's second to none when it comes to complete point guard play.
No doubt.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Talk about some of your other players, like Tristan Da Silva's having a really good year. Cody Williams is having a good year.
Yeah. And Javon Hadley.
Yep,
Javon Hadley's a guy that
absolutely
people don't talk about. Eddie Lampkin's had some really good games for us, the transfer from TCU. So Tristan is been a great senior. Luke O'Brien there only are 2 true seniors that have been here. This is their 4th year at Colorado. Javon Hadley started his career at Northeastern and then went to Indian Hills Community College, and then this is his 2nd year here. So those guys, Tristan has been a guy who's really shot the ball well at times for us, a little bit up and down in that regard, but in terms of like what he brings to our team, the calm, steady influence, our guys have a lot of confidence in Tristan because he's a matchup problem. He's 6'10", he can play down low, he can score on the block, he can also shoot the 3, he puts the ball on the floor. He's a very underrated defender as well. Javon Hadley is a guy whose game has really evolved this year. He was kind of a straight, I don't want to say low post guy, but his 3 ball has emerged. His ability to handle the ball and make plays off the bounce has been great. Cody Williams, as a freshman, he's had an injury-plagued freshman year, which is
still
unfortunate.
Good ball, yeah.
But yeah, when he's on the floor, he's pretty comfortable now and has adjusted to the college game well. And we got to get him healthy. He twisted an ankle against Utah the other night, and hopefully we get him back here soon. But he's had a great freshman year. The big fellow in the middle, Eddie Lampkin, has done some good things for us and has really brings us a physical presence, a toughness factor that this team needs. So, and then Luke O'Brien has been kind of that unsung guy, and Julian Hammond, 2 Colorado products that have really played well. Julian's again fighting injury right now as well.
Right. So you have 4 games left, 4 games in conference.
We do.
You got Cal, Stanford, at Oregon State. There's a lot of noise. We talked about bracketology, and how do you keep your players focused in this day and age of social media to just be like, we got 4 games and then we've got,
Yeah, my job, to be honest with you guys, is just to keep it real with our team. The fact of the matter is our margin for error is behind us. The game at Cal, when we're up 20 in the first half, we're up 19 in the second half, that we don't finish off. The game at Arizona State, that was a 1-possession game that we come up short in. The game at Utah, we cut it down to one possession game with a minute and a half. Don't finish that one off.
Right.
Like, those are 3 games that come to mind. The Florida State overtime game back in November. Those are 4 games that come to mind that could have gone the other way, that didn't go the other way. And if they did, now we'd have some margin for error ahead of us. I believe we're a top 25 caliber team. I believe we're an NCAA tournament caliber team. But the fact of the matter is we have to go win games down the stretch to prove that to people, because the margin for error is behind us. And there's other teams, Arizona, for example, their margin for error, they can stub their toe a little bit down the stretch here, and it doesn't hurt them. Right. They lose to Washington State at home. It doesn't affect their tournament chances because they've taken care of business along the way. We haven't, and so that's why the pressure's on us now. And I don't look at it as pressure. It's just our margin for error is gone.
Yeah,
you know,
that's reality, right?
It's reality, and that's why I got to keep it real with our guys. I don't look at bracketology. I don't look at any of that
nor
crap.
do we. I mean, it's going to be in, right?
Because we've got to make a case for ourselves, and the way you do that in late February and March is to win basketball games.
Yeah.
So you're 14-1 at home this year.
Yep.
Like, you guys are holding home court really well. Is there anything different this year that's happening in Boulder?
No, I don't think so. We've always been a good home court team since I've been here. I mean, we've never gone undefeated. Something I was hoping we could do this year, but Arizona came in here and played a really good game. I mean, they could have beaten the Lakers that night. They were good, and they beat us soundly. So, but we've held serve at home. We need to continue to do that, and then we've got to win some games away from the Event Center, which we beat a good Miami team who's faltered here down the stretch. That win was a great win. They were a top 25 team coming off a Final Four. The luster of that win, is gone because of the season they're having. That's what those are the things you don't control as a coach. When we scheduled that game, it's a great game. Here's an opportunity to test ourselves. We passed the test, felt good about ourselves, and now get no credit for it.
But the funny thing is, and you hit the nail on the head, you said 4 or 5 games where, if anything, like if a couple of things could have changed, you're ahead of things. And that's the same thing with a lot of teams.
Absolutely, every coach
crazy.
can say that. Every coach can say that. But we are 18-9.
Right.
That's right. It's like we're still in a position. It's not like we're 13-12. We're 18-9. We've won some good games. We've beat some good teams. And we are a good team. I mean, if you watch, that's the thing is people see scores, but they don't watch games. And that's probably the most frustrating thing.
You ever been in a press conference, Coach?
Huh?
You ever been in a press conference, Coach? Because they just look at stats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to knock colleagues or whatever.
But that's my point. Is people don't watch games. Like, they don't see that this team is really, really. I mean, and there's a lot of good teams. I think there's just a handful of great teams out there this year. But there's a lot of good teams, and we are a good team, and I've coached a long time now. This is my 30th year at the Division I level. I know what an NCAA tournament caliber team looks like, and we are one. Now, we haven't always played like it. Now, we've had a lot of injuries this year. We've had, I think, 14 of our 27 games we've been without 1 or 2 of our top 7 guys.
And that's huge.
And that's huge because we're not a deep team. Our top 7 guys are now. We go into 8, 9. Not that they can't play, but there's a drop off.
It's a different dynamic.
Talk a little bit about how you put that team together. Like with transfer portal, high school recruiting, and all that. Like all the changes you've seen in the last 4 or 5 years. It's wild.
It's funny, guys. I mean, we could talk hours.
You want a hard drink? Or you want a Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, I got a Dr. Pepper. It's that might be for over a couple cold beers. But no, look, we've really made a distinct effort to stay out of the transfer portal if we can. Obviously, Eddie Lampkin, we got him in the transfer portal. Lawson Lovering, came in and decided to transfer at the end of last year, which a lot of kids are doing now. And so we had, to go get a 5-man that can win at this level in the spring from high school is nearly impossible. And we were lucky enough to get Eddie. But we like to recruit guys, develop guys. That's what we've done. That's how we've had success here for 14 years. I would like to continue to do that. The reality is we'll see if we can. We've got some really good young players in our program right now. Courtney Anderson's a young guard that's redshirting R.J. Smith.
Did you say red shirt? I've never heard that word in the last 2 years.
We've redshirted guys.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like obviously you've dealt, like Sam always talks about culture.
But that's what we do.
Yeah.
We recruit, evaluate, then recruit, then develop. Yeah. And there's a lot of coaches that is out the window. They're just trying to go
that's
get
a rarity,
the next
right?
guy. I mean, it is a rarity, and we'll see. The next 2 or 3 years will tell whether we can do that in today's day and age, or if we can't. And if we can't, maybe we have to change our business model. But I just one of the things that I love as a basketball coach, and we talked earlier about being in Greeley, is you get guys like Will Figures and Devin Beitzel and Neil Kingman and Taylor Montgomery. Like the list goes on, and they came in as freshmen and they did redshirt and they did develop. And they got their teeth kicked in, early in their career. But then by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're having great success. Yeah. Well, here, you look down the road. Josh Scott, it was the same thing. Yeah. Wesley Gordon, Derek White, we got as a Division II transfer. He redshirted, sat out a year. If he doesn't sit out that year, he's a different player. He's not a first-round draft pick. Yeah. I mean, he's just not. And then McKinley. Right now we have KJ, who's been in a program for 3 years. Tristan's been in a program for 4 years. Luke's been in. So you see kids develop, you see them grow, you see them mature physically, emotionally, socially, academically. To me, as the son of a college English teacher, that's what I like. That's what makes me feel valued, I guess, if you will, as a coach. Certainly wins mean something. Losses, they kill you as a coach. But I love seeing kids develop and mature.
Yeah, let me ask something. Then he's gonna talk. When I was dating my wife, and I actually coached, and I was a men's tennis coach at DePaul.
Are you gonna ask for relationship advice?
No, I'm good. You got 3 kids, I got 3 kids. I know how it works. So. My wife would ask me, we were just dating that time, did you win or lose? And if I said we lost, she's like, don't come over.
Yeah.
Do you ever have those days?
Oh God. Yeah, my wife and I think
she's a saint.
It'll be no, I say it every year at our banquet. Coaches' wives have a special spot in heaven reserved for them, because what they have to go through and put up with is really a lot. And I think we're going to be married 28, 27 years now. I get
that right.
I should probably. I'll get it right before August 24th.
Yeah.
Whatever the date is.
But she put it on the inside of my ring. My wife's smart.
That's helpful, huh?
There you go. You can get your ring off?
I can get my ring off. I got to get my glasses on to read the inscription. But my point is, like, she knows what it's like. It used to be she would invite people over after a game, and she's learned not to do that unless she knows we're going to win.
Yeah. Right. Home game.
Home game. And this year her odds would be pretty good. But my point is, like, I'm not fun to be around when we lose. I'm not. It's just if I could figure out a way to handle the losses better, I could coach till I'm gone. Yeah. But I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah. It's taken me 30 years, and I still haven't.
If we find that out, we'll let you know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And if any of their coaches find it out, let me know. Yeah.
Cool, Coach. Well, we play a little game here where LT is going to fire off 6-7 questions to you.
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind, just let it rip. We'll have some fun with it.
Oh, boy.
And some of it might jog a little history from some older players you coached and whatnot. But let's get it, LT.
Yep. All right. Most memorable game, either coached or played in.
Most memorable game.
Give me the first one that comes to your mind.
Oh boy,
played or coached?
They're always killers. Weber State. When I was at Northern Colorado, I think we were up 17 with 6 or 7 minutes to go, and we lose. Damian Lillard's on the other team. He had a lot to do with that.
I was hoping a positive game, Coach.
No,
that's the first coach who's ever given us a loss.
I remember the losses. I don't remember the wins. I mean, they stick with you. That one will stick with me till the day I die. Yeah. Texas A&M at home. Our first year here, we lose.
Okay, just one, Coach.
I could go on.
It's not. This isn't a therapy session, man.
I could use that.
Funniest thing an opposing fan has ever said to you while coaching?
Oh, jeez. I don't listen to the fans.
You've
honest
heard
to goodness.
once or twice. You've heard.
But I like nothing comes to mind. I wish I could make something up here, but it's just I honestly try not to listen to what they say. And if fans they're not very creative anyway.
No.
You know,
Not anymore.
no. So
Like the Washington Bullets heckler. Remember?
the Washington Bullets heckler was the best.
good. That was
The
good.
best.
He was.
I don't know if he could make it today. Everybody's so sensitive.
Well, that's the problem.
They would ask him to leave before the game started.
I don't mind hecklers. I really don't.
Well, let me ask you this then. What is the toughest atmosphere to coach in?
Toughest arena you've ever
Toughest
coached
arena
in.
you've coached in?
Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Allen Fieldhouse. When you're the
That's
opponent.
tough, yeah.
Now when when you got Kansas across your chest.
And you hear that rock chalk Jayhawk with a
And
minute
then
30 to go. That just
the whistles come your way.
It's funny how that
You're gonna
works.
feel that next year.
I felt it.
Yeah. Greatest recruiting win.
Oh boy, that's a tough. I would say Cody Williams.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. I mean, first McDonald's All-American, and a guy who really believed in me, believed in our staff, believed in our program. And again, I don't know how long he'll be at Colorado, but I just know that was a marquee get for us, and probably won't get the most out of Cody while he's on our campus than maybe we've gotten out of some other players.
Yeah.
But I would say Cody Williams. A close second will be Spencer Dinwiddie, where we were at the stage of building this program to get Spencer. I think it was our first year here, our first full recruiting class.
Awesome. Funniest recruiting story.
Funniest recruiting story. This is my best. I was an assistant coach at Jacksonville State University in Alabama, and we were recruiting a kid named Josh Bryant from Hatton, Alabama, and we put a lot of time into him. I mean, recruited a heck out of him for about a good 2 years. We're going into the in-home visit, and Mark Turgeon is our head coach. He's a good friend of mine, a teammate of mine at Kansas, and Josh was a huge, back then it was, I forget the name, is it WWE or the pro wrestling?
WWF.
WWF.
Yeah,
And Stone Cold Steve Austin was his favorite wrestler.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about wrestling, but I heard of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we each got T-shirts of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we wore them. And back then, I mean, now you don't do it, nobody does it, and back then we wore coat and ties into home visits. And so Coach Turgeon starts talking, we do our pleasantries, and he starts into his recruiting pitch, and he starts getting fired up, and he loosens his tie, and
I see where it's going.
Josh, we want you so bad. I mean this, and he starts unbuttoning his shirt, and his parents are sitting there like, what's going on here? And he rips off his shirt, and he's got the Stone Cold Steve Austin T-shirt on, and Josh just got a big smile on his face, and then I did the same thing with mine, and so we had a good time that night. We got Josh.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
awesome.
You do what it takes.
Yep.
All right, this is going to be a tough question, but I think you can do it. And just try to be as quick as possible. Starting five of your all-time Colorado players that have played for you.
Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, whatever. We're hard-hitting here. Hard-hitting
Here. I'm going to go. I'll start at the center position with Josh Scott.
Okay.
And then I've got in the backcourt. You know what? I might go small ball here.
Okay.
I'll go small ball because I'll probably go with KJ Simpson, McKinley Wright, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Derek White.
Ooh, that wasn't that difficult.
No.
I think
you're not going to need wedding invitations or Christmas cards, but who cares?
That's a squad right there, though, man. That's a lineup.
It'd be a hell of a lineup. We'd play small ball, but that's okay.
Yep. All right, last one. This was going to be an interesting one for you. The song that best describes you.
If you had a walkout song coming out there, what would you choose?
You ever been asked that before?
I've been asked that before.
Yeah.
My smart ass answer is love stinks. But I wouldn't say that. That's not
right.
That's not my answer. It's just my one to kind of get a few chuckles. But I walk on. Oh God, I don't know. Brick House is my favorite song. If I ever want to dance at a wedding,
that's a good one.
Yeah, Brick
That's
House.
nice.
But
I like
that's actually my that's for my wife. That's not for me. But still. Yes, I'm not a.
That's a good answer. That's
I
a
don't
good
know if it is
answer.
or not.
Well, you won nothing, you got nothing, and Sammy will ask you the last question.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, last minute, we just kind of turn it over to you, Coach. Anything you want to share to the Buffalo fans? Anything you guys are looking forward to the next 4 games, conference tournament? What's the message in the locker room?
Yeah,
right
the
now?
message is, look, let's finish strong. Let's get some momentum here down the stretch. We got 2 home games left. We need this place packed. We're going to honor 2 seniors on Sunday, Luke O'Brien and Tristan DeSilva, who've meant a lot to this program, have given a lot to this program. We got to send them out the right way. Got to finish strong at the Oregon schools. And then, it's the last Pac-12 tournament in Las Vegas. The first Pac-12 tournament was in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and we were victorious. We won that thing, winning 4 games in 4 nights. So I'd like to go out of this league like we came in. Yep. That's guns a-blazing and go win that thing. But we still got business to take care of here down the stretch, and then go let it all hang out in Vegas, and Buff fans come and be loud and be proud.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate having on, Coach. The team you're putting on the court. It's we talk a lot about culture, and they're playing hard for you, man. And we
got great kids, and culture is, sometimes it's an overused term, but I'm as proud of that as anything at Colorado in terms of the former players too.
Excellent.
Thanks, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck. We'll be cheering for you. Well, we got rid of Coach. I think we could have given him some life counseling, but we've got star guard and finalist for some award, some pretty good award. A guy by the name of KJ Simpson. Welcome to the Full Court Press Podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Yeah, like LT said, Wooden Award finalist, Naismith Award finalist. A lot of calling him one of the most underrated point guards in the country. It seems like you're starting to get some attention around the country the second half of the season, man. You're putting up some stats this year. How's the season going?
Could be better. It could be better. I obviously would like to have some games back, but as basketball, things happen.
We already heard about which games. That he like one game, and then it was 2, and then it was 3. And there was a couple.
Yeah. Definitely would like to have some back, but that's basketball. But for the most part, just enjoying it, trying to learn from it as much as I can, and just go out there and compete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is? You guys are doing a really good job. How is it? You're the leader of the team. There's a lot of noise, bracketology, all this stuff that you guys are the first 4 out or the first 4 in. Mm-hmm. You got 4 games left. You're playing against a couple of teams that maybe aren't the strongest. How do you stay focused, and how do you keep your teammates focused these next 4 games?
Understanding that, anybody could be anybody in this league. Obviously,
absolutely.
We know that. Everyone else knows it, and we can't focus on the next game or what's ahead. We can't focus on the future. We just have to take care of business and take it one game at a time. And, our next opponent's Cal. That's who has all our focus right now, and then after that, we'll worry about who's next.
Yeah. So
do you want to know who's next or no?
I think he knows. Yeah, so I think you're probably the most well-rounded, complete point guard in the country.
Dude, you said that yesterday to another guy.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually. But this guy gets boards, man. As a point guard, a 6'2" point guard, what's the? You're grabbing rebound after rebound. You're often I think you're leading the country with rebounds with guys under 6'5". In the country,
Did you know that?
I didn't.
There you go.
Yeah. So what's the have you always just been aggressive on the boards?
Yeah, I've always had a knack for it. I give credit to my dad. He when he taught me basketball, he taught me to be an all-around player. Mm-hmm. That's why everything it's more than just scoring for me. Yeah. I want to fill up the whole stat sheet. And when I was younger, before all the offense came in, he said, the ways to score is you can get rebounds and you can go back up with it. But as I've grown, I just so happen to be, the bigs on my teams, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's funny, huh?
AAU, I had to rebound. High school, I had to rebound. And
were you born 6'2"? Is that why? Or?
I grew, I sprouted a little quickly, and everybody else, they just had late growth spurts, and mine just stayed here with it. But so I had to go in there and rebound, but I've always had that drive to go and get rebounds. And like I said, I get that from my dad. He played basketball. He went to Vashar High School, and he was a great rebounder.
Okay.
And he had a sense of where the ball would go off, how it rotates, and I kind of inherited that, and I could see it.
You want to hear something? Tell him what his dad is. We do research. What is his dad?
Kevin Simpson Sr., right? Yeah.
It's Kenneth.
Kenneth Simpson Sr.
Yeah, but what kind of ball player was he? You did some research.
D2 All-American. Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame with Missouri Southern State. Yeah. So shout out to your dad, man.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, he's definitely one of the goats.
Do you ever hoop with him?
Yeah, when I was younger. When I was younger, he used to give me, because he was a post player. He was a power forward. So,
God.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a point guard.
You still have teeth.
I'm a point guard. He's a power forward, but, I started, once I started to get older and I started to get more athletic and started to jump high, then, those competitions kind of, they shied away. I don't think he wants to see me right now. But.
Yeah.
So I want to take it back a few years during, you're a senior in high school out in California.
Yeah.
You, I think you committed to Arizona, and then you were allowed to kind of change the path. Like, what brought you to Colorado and Coach Boyle, and what's that journey been like the last 3 years now?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I enjoy telling it every time. It was honestly pretty special. That recruiting process, it was such a blessing. It was such a blessing, but at the same time, it was kind of really hard. It was a lot of great schools. And before I made my decision to go to Arizona initially, I called every coach that ever offered me, and just to thank them, for offering me. They didn't have to do that, and show awesome. Gratitude. And, a couple of them were a little salty. Other ones,
Like who? I'm just kidding.
A couple of them. But
tell more.
No, Coach Boyle was one of the main ones, if not the main one, who initially told me, if things don't work out, we'll feel the same way. And
awesome.
Sure enough, things happened at Arizona. I had a conversation with Coach Lloyd. Both agreed that maybe it was just best if, because he didn't see me play, didn't recruit me.
Right.
So just opted out, and then sure enough, due to the rules, they couldn't contact me right away, but I know they contacted my high school coach, and it was Coach Boyle. And, all the signs were just pointing that way. And I'll tell you a quick story. McKinley, obviously, if you guys don't know who that is, I'm joking. Now, McKinley, right, when he was coming here, before that, it was kind of a similar thing. I think Sean Miller's brother was head coach somewhere
Archie,
else.
Yep.
Yeah,
Archie. Where was Archie? Was he at Dayton? No.
He was in Ohio.
He was at Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton.
Yeah.
I think he was at Dayton, and this is when he was about to get another coaching job. So he was about to leave.
Went to Indiana.
Yes.
Yep.
And so McKinley initially committed to Dayton to play under him.
Okay.
Things didn't work out. Came back, played for Coach Boyle, and sure, I commit for Sean Miller. Things didn't work out. Come back, play for Coach Boyle, and I was like,
so Coach Boyle sending Christmas cards to the Miller household.
The signs were just all drawing myself to Colorado, and I already knew Jabari Walker. I played with him my freshman summer in AAU. I knew Evan. We worked out together, and we had the same trainer. And during COVID, when he came back to California, so all the signs were just pointing to Colorado.
Yeah. It's amazing, especially with how basketball's going, especially the landscape of college basketball, that you've been here for 3 years. That's obviously a testament to you as a human being, but also the program. Sam loves the word culture. I mean, if I hear it one more time, my head's going to blow up.
Culture and loyalty, man. It's just like
loyalty.
it's rare, man.
And I mean, I think, or I know, I mean, you look at, I mean, I was shocked at how long Coach Boyle's been here, because you just don't see that, especially really at any level. So kind of talk to a little bit about your teammates and the kind of the culture, like what you try to do, especially because you're one of the kind of the older stalwarts of the team.
Yeah. Now I have to give credit to, this coaching staff. They've brought in guys who are all about, this team, and sorry to use the word, but it is culture, the culture behind this team. And I learned that, from great leaders like Evan and Eli, who I came in and they taught me, what it meant to be, a Colorado Buffalo. And, as I got older, I kind of just wanted to emulate that and try to be that example and be that for my teammates. And so other guys on this team will tell you themselves, how they feel about Colorado. And it's just kind of instilled within this program. And personally, I'm just really big on loyalty. That's just how I've always been. My parents taught me that. And, I'm just really, that's my deal breaker right there, loyalty, and I stand by that. And, a lot of times that happened in high school. I went untraditional route, went to a school that wasn't quite, doing so well, was kind of just making the playoffs and, was able to get a championship there and,
Awesome.
Trying to do the same here and, take the untraditional route of, just sticking with it and, learning and growing and maturing and not just jumping ship, when things get bad.
But the funny thing is, and you kind of hit the nail on the head and you're doing it, it's if you're good enough and you're that good of a player, you'll get found.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? And you'll do things like, you look at the NBA, and we're older than you, but like this is something Coach Boyle, we could have talked to him about. In the 80s, in the NBA, and even the 90s, guys didn't leave. They built, like Larry Bird played for for who he played for, the Celtics. Johnson, you're an LA guy, played there forever. All those guys played, like Worthy, Abdul-Jabbar finished his career. So you're doing it the right way. And, if you're good enough, which you are, you're going to be found.
Yeah, exactly. That's how, my parents would, especially my dad would describe that to me, don't worry about, anything else. All you need is an opportunity,
Right.
As long as you put in the work, things will start coming your way.
Yeah.
So the success you've experienced this year and the attention you're getting right now, especially the last couple months, right? Like, are you keeping that secondary with, the awards, the stats, like what you're playing for as an individual versus a team, like NBA scouts, like starting to say your name more and more now? Like, how do you kind of balance like what's going on out there versus what's going on in the gym and the locker room?
Yeah, I can't focus on none of those stuff. It's, really nice, and I'm really privileged, I'm really thankful to, even have my name mentioned with a bunch of other great, college players. But at the same time, I understand, all that matters is just what's out there on that floor. All that matters is who's in that locker room, on this team. And I can't, put my individual needs in front of this team. I'm a team player. In order to be a great leader, you have to, understand that. And that's something I've kind of, developed into. I learned that from Evan, one of the best guys I've ever played under, one real unselfish. And the understanding, with these awards and stuff, things will fall where they may. As long as I continue to play at a high level, everything will fall where it may. And if not, then just keep playing, understanding that I did my best. But the main thing is this team and just trying to go out there and be a great leader for them.
Love it.
Yeah. How do you kind of teach the younger cats on your team? You've been here for 3 years. That's kind of unheard of in today's, college basketball landscape. Guys are jumping. I think we've interviewed 35-year-olds that have been in 8 schools in, 26 years, which I really think we have interviewed some pretty old dudes, but we won't go there. How do you get, like, the Cody Williams? Because Cody's a freshman, right?
Cody's a freshman.
And very talented and, highly recruited. How do you keep him, going kind of, not in this, I don't want to say straight and narrow, but, like, potentially staying at Colorado? How do you or just kind of, teach them like what you've learned and stuff like that?
Yeah, obviously, with the young guys, I alluded to it earlier, but just, Evan was just the best example I could use for that. He wanted to continue playing basketball. Obviously, he didn't have to come back. He could have left and, went and played pro like he is now, but he wanted to come back and, be that leader for, all the younger guys. Jabari was going into his sophomore year. I was coming in as a freshman. The guys in my class coming in, as freshmen, and he just took us under his wing, and kind of just was that big brother role model, and understood that we're freshmen, we're gonna make mistakes, but the thing with this program is you learn from your mistakes, and you just you recognize it, you learn from it, and then you obviously prevent it from happening again. But the main thing is just, you're going to learn. It's going to be a learning curve for you. And no matter what, you just have to stay level-headed, and you have to stay positive. And that's kind of what I try to do for these guys now. Obviously, Cody, I'm pretty sure, he's had a lot of injuries, that has prevented him from being out there on the floor that he would love to have back. And, with me having, that illness thing / injury, towards the end of the season last year, I kind of was able to go to him and kind of be that role model or that leader, kind of advocate and teach him, how to act or how to think about these situations. And, as far as, the future, whatever the future holds, I'm pretty sure in a perfect world, everybody would like to, stay together. I have to understand, that everyone has to, at the end of the year, look out for their best interest. But for right now, I mean,
so
everybody.
You're coming back is what you're saying.
No, but
one game at a time.
No, yeah. But for right now, I mean, the main thing about this team is everybody looks out for one another. And I just try to be the best teammate and best leader, best role model I can be for those young guys like Evan was for me.
Yeah, no, you can tell the way you guys play on the court. You guys are playing for each other. You
Yeah.
guys are playing under Coach Boyle. You guys have all bought in to the system,
Yeah.
and what you guys are playing for. So, what do you think? You ready?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So KJ, we do just a little game here. You answered all the hard questions. All right. So, LT is gonna fire off like 6, 7, just really simple questions, super fun. First thing that comes to mind.
First thing.
Just let it rip, man.
Yeah.
All right.
So who leads the team in personal fouls?
Now, are we talking about in games or practice?
That's a good question.
In practice.
Practice?
We're talking about practice. Now, practice could get real physical.
Yeah.
So who
In
leads
games,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's got to be Luke O'Brien.
KJ Simpson with 2.4 personal fouls.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
No, listen.
That's according to Fox Sports College Basketball.
Listen. It's because we've been in tough situations. We've been in tough situations.
Look it up for us,
We've
Troy.
had to foul quickly. I'm
Yeah.
fast to get to the ball. I'm a
There you
fouler.
go. You guys have been in some close games where
Yeah,
you got to foul
exactly,
quickly. There you go.
exactly.
So who's in practice then?
Who's the most physical guy in
Courtney
practice?
Anderson, by far.
Okay. Favorite college class?
Ooh, I took a communication and sports class last semester. My professor, her name was Jamie. We literally just talked about sports the whole time. Sports the whole time. What was going on? What was going on in the world? NIL, transfer portal, fans, race within sports, the history of it, the present. Coach Prime coming, and the energy shifts
Don't know that name.
with Colorado. Man, I mean, that was a real fun class to teach for sure, and it was kind of cool because I was able, being an athlete, give my perspective on it, and she really, valued that, and I really value her as a teacher.
And I'm sure for what's ever next for you, you can take some of that stuff to the next
for sure.
level. That's awesome.
It's funny, we didn't even talk about Coach Prime once with Coach Boyle.
I know.
Whatever. Most memorable college game for yourself?
Arizona, my freshman year, on senior night. It was great to go out there and play for the seniors. Evan was real emotional. He's just literally the mayor of Colorado. You know what I'm saying? And being able to go out there and play for him and the rest of the seniors and go out there and beat Arizona, who I think was number 2 team at the time, and the fans rushed the floor. I mean, that's college basketball right there.
That's going to be stopping pretty soon. I mean, it's crazy. All right, favorite food in the cafeteria?
Okay. We had a dish. I think it was the day
He got
before,
excited about that.
the day it was when football season was still around. The day before football team played USC, we had lobster tail.
Oh,
We had
I'm going to UC.
we had wings. We had a New York steak, and
Would you sneak into like the football team all of a sudden?
Caesar
or something?
salad.
All right, that would have been a good recruiting trip to come.
I mean,
know.
goodness. Yeah, that was fire.
That's awesome.
All right, so I want you to put together a starting 5 of current college basketball players, and you can't name any of your teammates.
But you can play the one.
I can play the one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna start down and come up because I'm going with Zach Edey for sure.
Okay.
You ever played with him? Played against him or played with him?
No, that would be crazy.
He's a large man.
Power forward. Let's see, man. There's so many guys. See, colleges. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna come back to that. At the 2, I'm gonna go Caleb Love.
Okay. There you go.
Show some respect to he's been dominating and his track record and everything. Great player. The 3, I'm gonna go. Man, the 3. Goodness, why y'all put me on the spot, man?
Who would be at the 1 at least?
Me.
Of
course.
Just making sure.
Yeah, me for sure. The 3. Dang. See, I would have said Tristan, dog. The 3. I'm trying to think of conferences. Oh, I'm going to go Dong Connect
Okay.
at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Dong.
Yep.
Played up the road. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Remember when we played him. Then, okay, the 4. Big spot. I'm going to go Armando Baycott.
Yeah.
That's a pretty.
I know that's pretty.
No, I was trying to think of
That was
guys,
good,
that
man.
are all complete. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Can
Yeah.
do a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You gave a shout out to Tristan though.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good,
it was
man.
tough not,
Yeah.
naming
Yeah.
some of my. You said no teammates, so.
Yeah.
That's
I
hard,
would've-
isn't it?
Yeah, it was hard.
That's
Yeah.
all good.
So, okay, let's ask you this one. Who would you say is your funniest teammate? Let's give some respect to the teammates.
Okay. Funniest teammate by far would have to be, I'm going to say RJ Smith.
Okay.
RJ Smith.
Who would you say is the worst dancer?
Luke O'Brien.
That was quick.
Think about that.
He don't really bust out any moves, but when he do,
He's a silent assassin, it sounds like.
yeah.
Silent assassin.
Respect though, respect.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
my
for sure,
guy,
man.
Luke.
Okay, last one for your teammates. Worst rapper and best rapper.
Okay. Worst rapper. This is so
And
like.
it could be a coach too.
No, this is so like. I might get a lot of hate for this. I just can't buy into Rod Wave.
We're talking about your teammates.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is
I
Rod?
thought you-
Who else said Rod Wave today too? as
I thought
teammates?
you meant.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. Yeah,
So Rod Wave, that's okay. He's
I thought
worst
you
rapper,
meant.
okay.
I'm okay.
That's all good,
How
that's all
about this? I'll do real rappers.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
Okay.
do, okay.
That's fine. So best rapper.
And then best rapper I'm gonna say is, like of all time,
Sure.
Yeah,
Who do you?
Lil Wayne.
Okay, Lil Wayne.
Ooh, no West Coast, huh?
Oh, I'm
California guy.
I'm gonna
good.
say.
Not-
I know.
not-
Oh
not
my
from
God!
West
guys,
Coast.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say
City.
Tupac.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then all right, on the
Teammate.
team, the worst. It has to be me. I'm not gonna
Best?
lie.
You can give it.
I'm not gonna. I can't. I just wish I could. I can't rap.
That's okay.
Not that I don't have rhythm. I have flow.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense when I say
That's
it.
okay.
But the best one, I'm gonna have to say. Shoot, I'm gonna have to say RJ
Okay.
Smith.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Only because I've heard him actually make something, and it actually sounded.
That's pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
decent. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a two-part question. The first one is, what is the song that best describes you? Like, what's your walkout song? What's your anthem? We know it's not Rod Wave.
Lord. The best walkout song. Man. Yeah, okay, it's a song by Key Glock. It's called Let's Go.
Cool.
He just says let's go the whole time, and that's just kind of my personality.
Just fires.
I'm just always on
Yeah.
go.
Let's go.
I'm just
yeah.
100%. I'm
Okay.
just 100 at all times,
Okay, that's good. That's fair. What song would you say best describes Coach Boyle?
I have to be careful with my choices here.
Well, we've already pissed off the whole West Coast by saying Little Wayne.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I apologize out there.
Colorado now.
Apologize out there to
It's all good.
my West Coast people. Best describes Coach Boyle. I can't think of one. But it has to be something with a lot of fire in it. A lot.
So
of
if you were in the DJ booth in
desire.
the stadium and Coach Boyle walked out and he said, "KJ, pick my song. I'm coming out to."
Katy Perry, maybe? Roar? I'm gonna
We'll go
hear
there.
you roar.
We'll go there. Yeah, we'll go there.
No, come on.
Okay,
Come on.
fine. I'm trying to be creative here. Thinking of songs. Is it kind of crazy? I'm trying to think of old songs. I don't
No,
mean
it's
to
all
be
good.
rude.
Wait, so we've heard
Yeah.
everything from Frank Sinatra to Grateful Dead to
Notorious B.I.G.
yesterday we got Juicy.
Yeah,
Like,
Juicy.
Juicy?
Yeah.
Juicy.
We had somebody say Sade.
Yeah, Sade.
Like,
Grateful Dead.
yeah.
That was
I'm
a
gonna
Coach.
say just because of how Coach Boyle's personality is, I'm a Boss by Rick Ross.
Oh, I like that.
Do you think he knows that song?
No. No.
All right, you got nothing, you won nothing, and maybe some of these questions you've never been asked before, you might be never asked again. So,
nah, it's all good, man. No, we appreciate you, KJ. Like we said, we're big fans of yours, man. You're just electric on the court and just probably the most complete point guard in the country right now. But I'm gonna turn it over to you if there's anything you want to share to the CU fans out there. You know, what's the message in the locker room these last 4 games and going into the conference tournament?
Yeah, I mean, last 4 games, obviously. We have 2 home games ahead of us. Well, obviously, the fan base, has been out supporting us. Appreciate the community, just trying to fill up the stands for these last 2 home games and play our heart out in front of the home crowd and go on the road and, carry over this good momentum that we have so far and play some good teams on the road and just try and finish out, 1 game at a time, but, win them all. Win them all. There's no doubt in my mind we can't do it. And if we just go out there and, with the same approach that we had against Utah, this past game, then I feel like all the chips will fall where they may.
Yeah, we appreciate it, KJ.
Yeah, we'll be pulling for you this year and future years. We'll always have Lil Wayne in the background when you play. But, KJ, thanks for joining us. And
yes.
Sam, thanks for being with me again for another Full Court Press podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us, like us, Twitter, Instagram, all that other,
all the stuff we love, man.
All the social.
That's how we get the word out.
We love it.
Absolutely. And we'll be back on another Full Court Press podcast, a college basketball experience. We don't know when, but we'll be back.